Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sandra Yevette, the owner and founder of Loving Touch Healing and Wellness, which operates out of Claremont, California. Today I want to talk about a topic that is really close to my heart, so I'm kind of excited to talk to you guys about it. It's intuition. Intuition. That word's kind of used a lot, but very loosely. Let me start by telling you what the true definition of it is. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. That's what it means. I'm going to read that one more time. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. I love that. I love that. Now let's talk about trust. Not trust in other people and trust in other things. Let's talk about trust in ourselves. Do we really trust ourselves? Because we are all given tools such as intuition so that we can comfortably and successfully navigate through life experiences. So when your intuition kicks in, and it's different, I guess, for everybody, but I'm going to say, maybe about the age of 12, 13, somewhere in there, you start really getting a sense of hearing an inner voice. And oftentimes that inner voice kicks in when you're about to do something, and you might hear something coming against what you're about to do. It might say something like, oh, don't go down that street. Or you really shouldn't do that. Or you should really tell the truth. Or it's not safe for you to do that. I mean, you get where I'm going with this, right? That intuition kicks in for a reason. It's God-given, like so many other beautiful gifts He's given us to be here and to know how to feel comfortable in trusting ourselves. That's what I want to talk to you about. Do you trust yourself? Sure, we can learn how to trust others. I personally do have an issue with trusting other people. I am still working on it. God has helped me to build the strength and capacity to have more reliance on Him so that I can trust other people. But the first step is in realizing where the problem lies. But the trust that I want to talk about is trusting yourself. I struggled with that when I was younger too, because I looked outwardly for things and people that I could rely on and trust in. And maybe during that process, when I started running into disappointments and shock and horror at how people, treated other people, brick by brick, I started putting up different walls. I didn't know I was doing that, putting up walls, but that's exactly what I did. And when those walls are up, maybe you think they're invisible, but it's your words, it's your body language. Sitting with your arms folded, sitting with your legs crossed. There's so many things that you send off a signal by doing that you're probably not even conscious that you're doing it. But when you trust yourself, you can then begin to trust other people because, see, you're rooted. You're rooted in something. You're rooted in your own truths, your own beliefs. We talked about that previously. And you don't have to feel like you're wavering. I think that's part of the reason why we have a problem with trusting our own instincts, our own truths, our own intuition. An example of a good use of intuition might be, let's say you're about to purchase and it's your dream car, and you really want this, you've saved but not quite enough, and you start getting all like the bells and whistles added to the package when you're looking at the car. All of a sudden now, you start hearing this little gut instinct of a voice. Remember your budget. Remember the payment you wanted to stick with. Or it might say, now's not the time to buy the car. You know it and I know it. It's not the time. But here's the thing. Because we've all been given this beautiful gift of free will, we often override it. It's our choice to. We don't have to listen to it. We don't. But then there's consequences, right? And you hear people say things like, something told me. I had a gut feeling. I knew I shouldn't have done it. That voice told me not to. Let's call it what it is. It's your God-given tool of intuition. Sure, some people have a little bit more than others. They can also look at other people and see what they may need to do or not to do. We've talked about that a little bit too, having certain gifts. But keeping this where the topic is for today, as far as you and trusting yourself. Learn to trust in that voice. Maybe you need to do some inner work. Bring awareness to where you need to work. Perhaps it's like, you need to forgive yourself from something. Mistakes you made in the past. Times you didn't listen to that inner voice. Okay. As long as you're on this side of eternity, you're still learning. I'm still learning. We're still growing. We all are. So, trusting yourself is a huge component in it. So how do you grow your trust? You grow your trust by really developing that relationship with Source, with Spirit, with God, with the universe, to help you to understand and discern where the truths really are. And as you start to understand that what's being poured into you is of a supernatural nature, you start trusting that you also are connected to that which is truth. And so then you start to trust that voice that kicks in at those pivotal moments, those beautiful moments. That's what they are. May not be what you always want to hear. It's also known as the voice of reason. That doesn't always have to come from someone else. It can come from you, reasoning with yourself or your higher self, letting you know, that's not part of our life path. That's not what we're going to get into. Or intuition is not always bringing negative news. It can let you know where you're about to step into something that's really beautiful and fruitful. But it starts with being able to trust it. Hearing that voice, recognizing it as something that is comforting, trustworthy, God-given, of a higher source. That's also how we're connected or tethered to Source in and of itself. We're not alone. Okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your instincts? Do you listen to the voice of reason? It's you, your higher self on the other side of eternity, letting you know it's God, it's Spirit, it's your ancestors. It's all of that. So trust in yourself. Trust in your intuition. Follow your intuition. Trust what you feel. Trust what you know. And I'm going to say there's a way that you can probably comfortably put it to the test on a smaller level. It doesn't have to really start off with anything big because, trust takes time to develop. Start with something small. And you'll see, before you know it, you have developed a wonderful trust in your instincts, i.e. yourself. Okay? So that's it for today. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and until the next time, as always, namaste.